Hello, everybody. Holy shit, it's been like forever and a fucking day since Sunday Funday or Contentious Top 10 or anything. I'm going to have a separate video talking about all that, so watch that. I will try to post it before this, which is going to make this really confusing then. Sorry, filling them out of order. Because that's how I want to do it. That's how I roll. But yeah, I felt like out of all the things that would be a good reason to come back for Sunday Funday, what better way than arguably probably one of the biggest movies that has been talked about on the internet for the past month or so since it originally released. And that, of course, is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
It has to.
Oh, so I guess we need to talk about this movie. This 4-hour fucking movie. Alright, so I think it'd be best to start off with some positives. Positives. There are times the CGI is not the worst thing in the world. The story makes a smidgen more sense. Smidgen. But I'm going to be honest with you. Zack Snyder stands, especially you. You know who you are. This movie's fucking terrible. What the fuck are y'all sitting there like, oh, it's the best movie. It's the best ever film that has ever been filmed by films. Holy shit. This is... First off, this movie's bloated as fuck. I know y'all think that, oh, well, we should watch everything that a director films. If they film it, that means it has a purpose or anything like that. No. There are some times where a movie does legitimately need to be cut down. I'm just going to go ahead and... Those who wonder about the plot of this film, it's the exact same thing as the original fucking Justice League movie. The only difference is there's slight fleshed out bits that kind of explain why it's Steppenwolf and not Darkseid. Gay has a new toy he loves. And on top of everything, there is... But here's... sorry, my thoughts are in 4 billion places at once. But with the idea about the fact that it's trying to explain that it's Steppenwolf and not Darkseid, it creates 28 more fucking plot holes. And no, I don't think that we should just sit there, well, just enjoy the movie. Sit back and enjoy Zack Snyder jizzing on your face. No, I'm still going to call the movie out for being an overbearing, bloated mess that still has an egregious amount of fucking padding and plot holes. So let's get into the one thing that really bothers me with this 4-hour mess. Sorry to keep harping on it. But I think we talked about this right after we finally finished it. This does not need to be 4 hours.
Yeah, half the damn movie is exploring more about the Flash and his backstory, and Cyborg and his backstory, and I think also expanding a little bit more on Aquaman.
Not a ton.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is exactly why these characters needed their own movies.
Before Justice League.
That way we can come to care about them before we get to this team up.
Yeah. Like, one of the biggest things that the movie tries to expand on, and I will give y'all this much, it does expand on Cyborg. It doesn't make us give a shit anymore about Cyborg, because Ray Fisher's still a bad actor. Sorry, y'all. He's shit. He's really wooden. Like, the guy who played him in Smallville was not a really good actor, but to be fair, they had a $3 budget to buy an actor. So they're like, all right, hey, you're black, so come on to the set here. And they're like, all right, he said the lines, and he did have a stroke in the middle of it. Let's have him do it. Which is sad. I think the guy is dead now.
Yeah, he committed suicide.
Sorry.
Years ago.
Sorry, but you are bad. You are the best. I will give that guy the Smallville. He was the best live-action interpretation of Cyborg we have had yet. That is not high fucking praise. Because again, Ray Fisher he doesn't know how to have any emotion because Zack Synder has to brood and we have to have this, he needs to be sad because it's Frankenstein. It's the same fucking plot as Frankenstein. And in its basic forms. No, some Snyder stands, well, Frankenstein wasn't able to get into computers. But he even literally quotes, well, now I'm a monster. Shut up, Ray. Go sit down. Eat some cookies. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Josh Whedon's a cockhead, and you're just as bad as him in terms of your acting capabilities. In terms of cockheadedness. But, yeah, we get more into Cyborg. That's mostly what is added. There is a little bit more with Flash, which, again, it says, hey, we should have had a Flash movie. And, unfortunately, Ezra Miller's the only character who can be bothered to fucking smile every now and then. Everybody else has got to frown and be sad. Get into that in a bit. But with the shit that they added with Ezra Miller, the biggest thing is the introduction of Iris West. I could not care. That scene did not even add anything to me. Oh, we get to watch Flash use his powers. Well, get fucking shit. It doesn't give me anything. I don't need to watch the Flash use his powers. Because as any normal human being, if you ask him, who is the Flash? Thanks to the 2 different TV shows that he has had, thanks to Justice League, thanks to the comics, and also, you can even think Murder Man versus Captain fucking Hypocrite. Thanks to all these different mediums, I'm pretty sure most normal people know who the Flash is. They don't need to see, oh, he has super speed. It's like explain to somebody, Spider-Man is a guy who has spider powers, and we have to go over him exploring his powers again. It's like there is a reason why some people didn't like The Amazing Spider-Man, and I do kind of agree with the fact that we didn't technically need our origin story. Even though Spider-Man technically is more of a niche character than even Flash at times. Or niche, I think is actually how it's pronounced. I call it niche because I'm stupid. But here you have this 15-minute scene, adds nothing to the movie except for bloating. So there, 15 minutes cut off from you. Thanks, Zach, for wasting your goddamn time.
Yeah, at the end of Batman vs Superman, where they show clips of these different characters, like, okay, that right there could have perfectly set up for their own films of, introducing them to us and making us care about them, and maybe even kind of make it about Bruce trying to recruit each one of them throughout their own movies.
Yeah. I hate to sit there and say that y'all need to copy Marvel, because I don't mind y'all trying to do something different. But here's a moment where you probably should have copied Marvel. Especially what they tried in the first few movies, where each sequential movie was supposed to be a recruitment to the Avengers. Let's see. At the end of Iron Man, Nick Fury pretty much tries to get Tony Stark to start helping with him. At the end of Incredible Hulk, originally it was supposed to be Abomination, but it became actually trying to get the Hulk involved with the Avengers. And then also with Captain America, it was about trying to get him involved with that. Thor, I don't remember, unfortunately, even though I do have it on Blu-ray. Sorry, it's a running joke with us. She's going to slug me in the dick here in a bit.
I'm just going to thump you in the nipple.
Get my nipples out of this.
Yeah, it perfectly would have set up for them having their own film. And if you want to wait till Justice League to have Bruce go and recruit them, this really would have cut down on a lot of that. It's like, oh, here, Diana, help me, talk with these people. And it's like, okay, go and recruit them. Okay, they say no. Go and recruit this other person. They say no. Go recruit this other person. They say yes. Go back and recruit those other 2. And they finally say yes. Like, okay. This would just cut down so much. Because, like he was saying, it does not need to be 4 motherfucking hours. That's 4 hours of my life. I'm never getting back, Zack Snyder, so fuck you. Right up the ass with a big fucking rubber dildo, horse cock. Fucking tell I'm angry.
But she's adorable when she's angry.
And that's another thing. With the clips from Batman vs Superman that we all saw, they go through and Bruce has Diana help him try to recruit these other people that he's had trouble recruiting, and like gives them their names and their backstory and kind of showing off their powers. Like, okay, then why did we have that in Batman vs Superman? Why did he send that to her when he could have just shown her?
Because we totally needed to waste more time in Batman v Superman, especially since they went, according to Snyder stands, the Ultimate Edition is the only real edition. Hey guys, sorry, we did watch that one. Guess what? It's not any better than the original. In fact, I dare say it's fucking worse.
Yeah, like, it doesn't really add much to it.
Oh, no. We got to see so much of that African lady that was so fucking important. Yeah. And some of the scenes are the scenes are in slightly better order. The movie is still a fucking mess. And still shows how much Snyder does not understand superheroes. I'm sorry. His fans are some of the worst things ever. And he is lapping up this bullshit. You have a guy who actively hates superheroes. He hates them. He has admitted as much. He does not like superheroes. Why do you think he wanted to do Watchmen? Let's all admit something. Watchmen is not a very great comic book. It is a good deconstruction of superheroes. Yeah. Is it a good comic book? No, it's fucking boring, actually. It's a bad comic book. The art is not really all that great, even for the time. It was actually kind of piss poor. And guess what? The movie, it kind of worse.
Yeah, Snyder clearly does not understand superheroes.
His thinking of superheroes is that they all need to be the edgelords like he is.
They apparently need to either be really gritty and dark and realistic, or they need to be gods among men.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, should we keep them in check or should we not? It's like, okay, I get tired of this debate. Unless you have something new to add to the conversation, shut the fuck up, Zack Snyder.
Yeah, it's bad that the reason why people were showing off Snyder doing that in front of the Captain America Civil War poster, and had the little meme with oh, that's how it should have been done, is because that's how you do a superhero debate. I know people are like, well, superheroes, yes, because here's the thing, superheroes are actually going to fucking talk to each other. They're going to actually try and bother to listen to a little bit of reason, especially whenever you throw in the fact that, honestly, if we're supposed to believe that Mr. Jesus Man, as Snyder thinks Superman's name is, if he was actually raised by humans, he's not just going to instantly go to, you know what, I'm going to push your head out your own bunghole. But instead, they're going to sit there and talk with each other. Like, instead, what is Batman's immediate thing? He's immediately paranoid and immediately jumps to Batman, like, right before Infinite fucking Crisis. Holy shit, does somebody not understand how to get us from point A to point fucking B? No, people are like, well, he watched Superman destroy all these buildings. Okay, but still, what Batman's going to do is he's going to study him. He's going to begin trying to figure out about him. And then ultimately, Batman is either going to, A, figure out a way to at least subdue him. He's not going to kill him, you bunch of stupid retards. Or he's going to figure out a way to speak to him. He is going to try to eventually reason with him. Because here's the thing, I like all of you who Batman fans who like Snyder's version of it, Batman is not a killer, and he's not a fucking meathead. He's not just going to go after the most brutal option first.
I think there's a reason why he's the world's greatest detective. Yes, he uses his gadgets and his kind of burst, like his muscle, but he also uses his wits. Like, he outwits his opponents.
Yeah. Why do you...
I'm not even a Batman fan. Even I know that's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, it's not how Batman's going to approach a situation. Like, I'm just going to beam him in the face with my fists. Mm-hmm. It's like, what Batman would have done is he would have studied it's Superman. He would have followed through everything he's doing, and especially once he sees Superman saving people or anything, he would have then confronted him about it. And he wouldn't have done it in an angry form or anything like that. He would just ask him, "What are you doing? What is your purpose?"
I mean, yes, he would have had contingencies, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, but, that's not the first thing that he would have gone to. And it's like with Superman trying to confront him in Batman vs. Superman. It's like, okay, this is not how this would go. Superman would not immediately, start fighting back. He'd be like, okay, it's like, I'm not trying to fight you. I don't want to fight you. Luthor wants us to fight, but I'm not one to fight. He has my mom. Help me save her.
Yeah. And not only that, but you would have saved from the silliest fucking scene in the entire world. Save Martha! Martha! Why pooping my pants?
I say, seems like he's, like, on the toes. Save Martha! It's like, just constipated. Just like, oh, God.
And the worst thing is, actually, I would say the Ultimate Edition raised more holes because from the original cut, it seemed like Batman had been, working around for a while. And obviously that was what was kind of hinted with the Joker suit of Tim Drake killed by whatever. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty much trying to harken back to whenever they originally killed, what's his name? Jason Todd. And yeah, y'all know what? I was cool with Jason Todd died. Still cool with Jason Todd staying dead. But, obviously they were trying to harken to that, and it was supposed to be like a, hey, hinty, hinty, winky, winky, with, like a comic book thing. But by how Clark reacts to the fact that, oh, Batman is a superhero, he's a vigilante, and he does stuff.
You're like, you hypocrite.
Yeah, because they did add a little bit more to that, and it's like, okay, one, hypocritical much. Two, how are you just finding out about this?
Yeah.
If
he's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's like, so wait, so did Batman just suddenly decide to become Batman just because of Superman? That seems really stupid.
Did he, come out of retirement or something because of Superman? Like, nothing is really made clear.
Well, what I mean is, like, it makes it seem like this is the first time Clark has ever heard of Batman. And for a guy who is as well-traveled as Clark, because he decided to be a homeless guy for about, I guess, 15 years after, he let his dad get eaten by a tornado. Still one of the funniest damn scenes in the world. Don't save me. Like, you could go faster than the human eye can see, but yeah. I want to get eaten by a tornado.
Yeah, it's like, and we've said this in previous videos, like, again, you get tired of the heart attack, you want something different? Okay, we get it. Cancer or a brain tumor. Something that Clark is powerless to help.
Yeah.
Help fight against. Like,
that is something that I would have said more, that would have been more profound, more symbolic, and also would have inspired more of, Superman being mopey, if you wanted to take it in that direction.
If you absolutely have to have it that way.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, you could have done a lot more than him getting eaten by a tornado because Clarky do a whiny face. But neither here nor there, and now just railing at everything else Zack Synder doesn't know how to fucking write or direct. But yeah, so with all these other superheroes he's supposedly having to do, yeah, Cyborg, I don't give a shit about his
broody Frankenstein complex.
Yeah, and ultimately the CGI on it looks worse. I don't know how they spent more money and it looks worse. It's like, thanks. You could have just went with some prosthetics, I guess. It looks worse than even the RoboCop remake, which, to be fair, I didn't think that was that bad, but still.
I've not seen that, so I cannot really...
Ain't as much. But on top of everything, it's like, yeah, he just has a Frankenstein complex. And
he's starting to feel better about himself with stuff that his dad said about, oh, you can do so much with your new abilities.
Yeah,
you can
save.
help. You can help people.
Yeah.
But the whole issue you will face is, find temptation to use it for evil or for your own personal gain, and you gotta know when to use it and when not to use it.
Yeah.
And everything's like, okay, whatever. You start to feel better about it. So I was like, okay, I can actually do so much. I can actually help. And he goes out in public, and people are like staring at him, and then he feels bad about himself. And I was like, so 1 step forward and 2 steps back.
Well, it also doesn't help that he has a hang-up with his dad, and I know that is from the
Yes.
comic books, but in the same instance, one of the issues is when they tried to have Silas Stone, played by the guy who played Dyson from Terminator 2.
Yeah.
The big issue is he is actually kind of sympathetic throughout this entire film. There's a lot that he actually does he does good for Victor. Like at one point they're about to be... how's the way to put it? They're trying to resurrect Superman. It's the same scene still.
Yeah, they break into Star Labs.
Which happens to be set up on the Superman ship, as they keep calling it.
Yeah.
It's the Kryptonian
I would say
scout ship,
yeah,
but don't let that get in your way.
Mm-hmm.
And they called it that, and Murder Man vs. Captain Hypocrite. Guess we just suddenly randomly decided to change the name now. But, yeah, so they're trying to break into it, and Silas actually purposely... He originally was like, no, this is just...
No, this is a false alarm. Like, what the... And then he sees Victor, and it's like, oh, no, yeah, this is totally real. Yeah, Deborah, just get out. Just, pretty much okay, let him do what he needs to do. It's like, I'm going to stay out of the way, son.
Yeah, and then he does sacrifice himself
To...
heat up the mother box, because that's how they're able to end up tracking this thing. And yes, there is actually more the superheroes trying to stop Steppenwolf from getting the mother box. We'll get into Steppenwolf here in a minute. And Darkseid. And yeah, sure, the heroes kind of fight him back a little bit, but it still also sets up so much fucking issues. Mm-hmm. Because you still want to know... I guess Superman's so uber powerful because he's Jesus.
But Wonder Woman was kind of holding her own. For a bit,
she held her own against Doomsday and didn't really need the flying bastard.
And Cyborg and Batman doing pretty good too. I mean, not quite as good as Wonder Woman, but
yeah, it's one of those so what do we really need Superman for? And also, there's other.
Pretty much to alleviate Bruce's guilt.
Yeah.
It's
and it's a lame reason to bring him back. Especially considering in Snyder Cut, there is another thing they add. They added Martian Manhunter. Mm-hmm. He has no purpose in the entire movie except for to give Lois a push into the plot.
Yeah, he appears to her as Martha. Spoiler.
And then you learn that the guy she was talking to from Batman v Superman that was like a military liaison guy or whatever.
Yeah, he's actually Martian Manhunter.
I will give you this much. Since y'all decided to go with him being the human form, I don't mind that too much.
Mm-hmm. Traditionally, he is. He takes on a black human form.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll say the guy actually, he gives a pretty cool voice for Martian Manhunter. I like that.
Yeah.
The CGI looks like garbage. Mm-hmm. Y'all couldn't have figured out some way to just have a guy in green makeup. You didn't have to have the same actor as that actor is a little bit older, I fully understand. But you couldn't have had somebody in costume instead. It would have looked better than the CGI monstrosity you had.
Well, that's like with, on Charmed, Phoebe's boyfriend, Cole, his demon form, totally played by a different actor, but they had him in, this makeup. Yeah. And it's
it would have been better. Just sync up the voices and there you go. Fine. There you go. Done this a billion times. It's weird they decided to go CGI. But also, again, introducing Martian Manhunter, since he is... Because here's the thing. Even though they introduce him, he is literally there to introduce Lois into the plot. Other than that,
well,
he doesn't do anything till the very end of the fucking movie.
Yeah, he's there to pretty much be there for Lois, and because he knows that she's not going to trust him, so he appears to her as Martha. And then later shows up at, Bruce Wayne's doorstep.
It's the funniest fucking thing ever.
And he's like, okay, well, I've been known my main name. Maybe he'll call me Martian Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
And you've inspired me to join the fight. It's like, first of all, where the fuck were you during all this going down with Steppenwolf and Darkseid and all that shit? It's like, you didn't have a dog in this fight too?
Yeah. And Bruce also...
And second of all, yeah, Bruce like, oh, okay. Like,
he just kind of rolls with it.
Nah.
He expects Bruce to go, hey, I got like 12 questions. Can you start answering them? One. I just told him the name. Who the fuck are you? It is one of the funniest scenes that is not meant to be so funny. Because he's... But that fucking says like, oh, okay.
It's like, okay, well, who are you? Like,
it's like, this is
he finally
happening.
answers them. It's like, I've been known by many names, but I'm most known by Martian Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still just like, okay, well, that's still it's like, who are you? Like,
it's like, well, you are... All right, not just like,
first, like,
who
this
are
tells
you?
me nothing.
Who are you?
Yeah, it's like, what are you? It's like, what? Like, this, like, your name tells me nothing, dude. Like...
Yeah, like I said, it's unintentionally funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't mind the introduction of Martian Manhunter, but you need to give us a reason why he's not joined into this fight. Why has he just been sidelined the entire fucking time? Again, it's weird that Snyder wants to sit there and go through and add all this shit.
Expand on every other goddamn character.
Yeah.
Including including stuff with Lois that, one, I don't care about, and two, it just kind of left up in the air like, okay, what the fuck? Like the damn pregnancy test.
Yeah, because at one point, like, she gets something and there's clearly a pregnancy test in the...
Yeah, she's like getting ready for work or something, or no, actually hasn't come into work for a while. She's getting ready to go visit Superman's memorial that she does every single day.
And guess what? It adds to nothing.
Yeah, like you 1 see like a pregnancy test among her stuff. It's like, okay, are we meant to assume that she's pregnant? And then later on, Bruce tells Clark, I was like, I hear congratulations are in order, or he tells him congratulations, like...
For the engagement.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought he was... Okay.
And,
I thought he was talking about the baby, like...
Well, that would have raised problems if they said that, but thankfully they kind of decided to ignore it, because the other thing they mentioned is the fact that Superman's been dead for a year. Yeah. Which... I'm okay with him being gone for a year, even though I kind of feel like that. Because...
Give him a little bit of scruff. Like...
Give him his longer hair.
Uh-huh.
Well, to be fair, I also got to ask another thing. Where the fuck's the Suicide Squad? Why are they not helping? Because Bruce actually talked with Amanda Waller at the end of the fucking Suicide Squad movie.
I'm trying to think, like, how long after...
It didn't take place a year after Suicide Squad.
Yeah, like, they were formed after...
Superman died.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a year, so they could have been there to help. I'm not saying that we need to bloat this movie even more, but this is the issue you have to always think of whenever it comes to movies like this. Like, you have to look at, okay, well, why are these characters not involved? Why are these characters not getting into things? I
mean, at least with, like, Guardians of the Galaxy, them not getting involved in, like, Avengers affairs until Infinity War, they were off out in space. Like, they...
Yeah.
They had no, like, contact with Earth, really.
Yeah. Why would Hank Pym not want to help out with the Avengers and everything? Actually can be pretty easily said. He doesn't fucking trust S.H.I.E.L.D. So,
yeah,
why would
and Tony Stark, mostly because of his history with Howard.
Yeah, it's like, so it kind of makes a lot of sense, like, why, he never bothered.
Yeah, there's backstory there.
Yeah, there is a precedence. Hell, they actually kind of, in Endgame, kind of set a little bit of precedence, like, oh, why are the sorcerers not really there for the stuff in New York? Oh, wait, they actually were. And so it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, of course, still for some reason made me think of Infinity War, where Scarlet Witch joins the fight. Like, okay, why was she up there?
And hell, they actually also, again, anybody who knows anything about comic books knows also why the Wakandans weren't actually getting involved in anything till, after Black Panthers. Because of, they were isolationists. Extreme isolationists.
Yeah, like they even explain it in the Black Panther movie. It's like, okay, if we share our technology and everything with the rest of the world, then the rest of the world's going to want to try and take advantage of it, and it's like, bulldoze on in here and steal our resources.
Yeah.
Which, I don't blame them. I don't trust humans not to do that, so...
Yeah, it's one of these things where it's like, it's okay to add certain things, but you have to explain either, give us a token of an explanation. Like, have where Bruce says, like, I did try to contact somebody I know in the government about a few other people, but I didn't think we could trust them or anything like that, or maybe he says, like, they're busy with something else. Okay, fine, whatever. That's okay. You could then explain Suicide Squad away. But give us a token of an explanation. These movies exist outside of their own realm, but they still are connected to each other. That is the crux of the issue that is constantly plaguing all these DCEU movies. Like, there is, at best, a tenuous connection, and none of it's really all that great. Like, at least Shazam seemed to exist kind of in its own world, which is okay.
But this mentioned that Batman and Superman are part of that world. In fact, Superman even makes a cameo at the end.
Well, Superman's dick.
Well, like his Vital, because it's clearly not Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
That's funny, damn thing.
But yeah, but at least that seemed to take place at least after Justice League.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with,
Yeah, and obviously they didn't get involved in the fight because they didn't have powers then. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, that's... Yeah. Maybe in the future, maybe, Shazam will join the fight.
Yeah, that's okay. It's like, cool, sweet. Let's have that. I'm fine with expanding more on different stuff. You have to give us a list.
I would say there has to be a reason for everything.
Mm-hmm. Especially if this is going to be your big $300 million tentpole that's supposed to connect all these different things together. And, sorry, we keep also getting distracted. We also need to talk about the other kind of character that had his own movie, we both actually really loved, and that's Aquaman. What did you do to my man? Why did you make him so fucking mopey and stupid?
I would say so broody, and oh my goodness, the scene of him walking down the pier, down that alcohol, and like just walking down, taking off his shirt, and then the waves, like, why is this in here? Why did it need to be like 5 minutes long, just that walk down thing?
Hell, why did they need it in there it's just because, it's part of the trailer. I didn't give a shit.
Like, him saving that damn fisherman's like, I could give 2 shits less.
Yeah, they already had a similar scene where Bruce tried to recruit him beforehand. And then Volko tries to actually even kind of talk with him about it.
Who, for some reason, has long hair in this, and then later in Aquaman has like short, slick back hair.
Let's just put it this way. No, do not give Willem Dafoe long hair. No. It's unnatural. The man already has a dick that most porn stars would be proud of.
You don't believe us? Google it. It's like, okay.
Be prepared to have to pick your jaws up off the floor. I am not kidding.
Get some eye bleach right, too. It's like, you will not be able to see that.
You'll remember at inopportune times, go to hug your grandma.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
But yeah, there is... Oh, we forgot about... There is something that they do also add to this movie. Gratuitous amounts of CGI blood. I don't know, that was hurt a lot. I hurt a lot. I don't give a shit that this movie ended up getting rated R because there was more blood. Well, CGI blood. Mm-hmm. It didn't add anything to the movie. It didn't subtract from the movie. It just exists. That's the biggest thing I can say. It's like, this exists now. But now we have to talk about Steppenwolf, which also deals with Darkseid. I will give them this much. They did do a little bit more modulation on Carrie Ann Hines' voice. So it didn't quite sound like an old man who has lost his walker and is trying to find it. The CGI is still terrible. He now looks like a goddamn Sonic the Hedgehog villain.
Yeah, he looks worse, especially with the goddamn like helmet. I was like,
So
oh, I was
silly.
like, just put that back on. You look ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And all right, so again, we were talking about plot holes earlier. This movie decides that we're going to introduce Darkseid. He actually did come to Earth, and he slapped the ground, and it's like, oh, something happened.
And like created the anti-life equation or something. Like,
Yeah, and it's
got his ass handed to him.
Yeah. And there was a Green Lantern there too, and stuff.
There was a Green Lantern, there were gods, there were Amazons, there were Atlanteans, humans. All these races of beings fighting together and kicking Darkseid's ass. And, like, pretty much about to kill him when his parademons scored him away. It's like, okay, let's get him to safety and get him away from here. Then later...
Steppenwolf's talking with Darkseid, or he's talking with Desaad and Darkseid. There's Desaad in this movie as well, which...
Thankfully, yeah, he's talking with Desaad instead of the mother boxes.
Yeah.
That's something that fixed.
Yeah, and it turned, or he's like, oh, I found it, my lord. I need to talk with Darkseid now. And it's like, I found the anti-life equation. And instead of Darkseid going, yeah, I know it's there. He's like, Darkseid just seems, oh, you found it. If you can do that, I will forgive you for whatever trespass he supposedly did. It's never brought up what his...
Yeah,
what
probably he
Steppenwolf did.
betrayed Darkseid somehow, some way,
And
sometime.
I was figuring, oh, it's going to be during that battle, like he was the one who originally injured Darkseid or something. No, it's never explained. It's just mentioned, and it never is brought up.
Yeah, they make a big deal. It's like, oh, that barbaric planet that the anti-life equation was, it's Earth.
And it's
They
like,
make such a big deal about it, and Darkseid's like, oh, you've done well. Destroy the planet, or destroy the people, and then you can rejoin my side.
yeah. And now we'll go, ooh, question. How did you forget your biggest fucking defeat and forget where you left something?
Yeah.
It's like losing your keys in your pocket.
Yeah, I was like, how do you not remember what the barbaric planet was called, or even the damn coordinates to it? It's like, I know you got your ass handed to you pretty handily, like a better way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like knocked the fuck out before y'all left the planet.
And sure, it was thousands of years ago. But I do not remember where you got your ass just utterly beat.
Yeah.
You got beat like a fucking redhead stepchild. You were chumped out by a bunch of barbarians. And you don't remember where that was? What the absolute fuck? And not only that, but you can't remember where 3 of your boxes were, too? And that's the other thing. Adding the anti-life equation to the whole mix doesn't help anything. It would have made a lot more sense if simply Steppenwolf was just there to get the mother boxes. Adding the anti-life equation raised up 12 more plot holes. And again, just let it be the fucking mother boxes. It's stupid, especially considering at one point the humans, all they clearly do is just bury it. Just like, it gets in a 2-foot hole. It's like, great job, guys.
Well, I mean, the Amazons weren't much better.
They at least hid theirs through magic and stuff like that.
Some with the octopus or something.
That was
like,
the
what the
Atlanteans. That
fuck?
was the silliest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Atlanteans was silly too. But again, at
like-
least it was...
Aliens underwater where no one could get to it except, Steppenwolf. The only one can breathe underwater. And that's another thing. They, shove these motherfuckers, these Atlanteans, out of the water, and they're able to breathe pretty fine.
Yeah, even though they explained, or they kind of showed in the other one that it's pretty much a bit of royal blood.
Pretty much noble and royal blood.
Yeah, they're able to breathe outside
Pretty much those are more closely related to the original Atlanteans where, Atlantis sunk.
Yeah. So they're able to actually breathe outside of,
Whereas pretty much the common folk and aliens are not. And also, it's like if they can breathe underwater and talk underwater, why do they keep like creating these like bubbles of air just so they can talk?
So that was actually a Zack Synder idea, because he thought it was stupid having them just talk underwater. I know people are like, well, science. You got a movie about a giant dude swinging an axe around that is able to somehow superheat itself, going around collecting semi-sentient boxes.
Uh-huh.
I think we can be okay with people just talking underwater. The science doesn't check out. I'm fine with it.
Don't they talk underwater just fine without the air bubbles in Aquaman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder thought that was stupid. Again, Zack Snyder, kind of stupid yourself.
And also, the damn, the King Atlan with the trident is like, okay, that raises all kinds of plot holes. Like, what the fuck? I mean, unless it's supposed to be like a replica statue or something, but it's not. It's like, no, what?
This movie's stupid.
It explains some things and expands on other things. Like, okay, this makes so much more sense, but it opens so many other plot holes. Like,
yeah, this movie's bad. If I can give it this much, if I can give the movie some credit, it does try to explain a few things.
Oh, and then there's the terrorists at the beginning.
Oh yeah, the pointless Luddites, I guess, in a way.
Want to take the whole world back to the fucking Dark Ages.
And here's the thing. You want to sit here and make this whole movie about Darkseid and his forces or anything like that? Make that like Minions of Apocalypse or what they call themselves or something like that. And they're being influenced by Darkseid. If Zack Snyder wanted to go through all this horseshit of trying to have all this connection to Darkseid and everything...
I don't want to have nothing to it.
Oh, no. Here's a stupid thing that supposedly David Ayer hasn't 100% he's hinted at, but he hasn't confirmed. Supposedly Enchantress' stupid Skybeam thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to be her trying to contact Darkseid and open a boom tube. Why, I don't know. It's like Enchantress doesn't have shit to do with him. In fact, she is a Earthborn... Nope, gonna have my head hurt more.
Yeah, the whole scene with the terrorists at the beginning of Justice League, adds nothing but runtime.
But you get to see Wonder Woman being a badass and
more
also
of a
one of the
badass
silliest
than
things in the world.
Theatrical cuts. Like, whoopee shit, she got her own movie.
She did get her own movie.
Yeah, that's one thing. It's like, she got her own movie.
2 of them. Amazing, no, she got one.
Yeah, it's like she got a movie in between Batman vs. Superman and Justice League. So, we don't need to see her be badass again. Just... I mean, maybe like little reminders like, yes, she's in this movie. It's like, yes, she's badass. Just pretty much how they had it in the theatrical cut.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all just absolutely have to have this in here.
Yeah, it's like a 5-minute scene in the theatrical cut. It's nothing major, and it's
it's like some bank robbery or something. But here it's like, oh, it's a bank robbery coming for the fact these terrorists are going to take people back to the Dark Ages and would wipe out all technology or something.
How are you going to do that by blowing up people?
And just blowing up one part of one city. How's that going to affect the whole world?
Because he has enough C4 to blow up 4 blocks. It's stupid. It's really stupid. Oh, you realize we're still not talking about Ezra Miller actually much? He's here in the movie, and beyond the Iris West, there's not a whole lot that's actually really added for the character.
Yeah, the whole person getting saved in a car. You see in the trailer. Yeah, that's Iris.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, it amounts to nothing in the long scheme, or big scheme of everything.
And everyone's like, he runs in and is like, oh, hey, pretty girl. And then he saves her 5 seconds later. It's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
She does not crop back up. again, Flash should have had his own movie before all this.
Yeah.
Kind of like build his backstory, maybe introduce a love interest if you absolutely have to, and make us care about him, and it's like maybe have Bruce try to recruit him.
Yeah.
Someone's like all this stuff can be explained in a movie, in a separate movie.
Yeah. Because ultimately, that's the issue by the end of this entire thing. Is like, there is hour and a half, 2 hours of this movie that can be cut out. That's the big issue. Like, people really railed about the fact that, oh, how dare Warner Brothers cut down this movie? Here's the problem. The reason why they cut this movie down is because before they cut it down, it was a mess. There was way too much shit going on in terms of like, oh, we gotta touch this plot, and this plot, and this plot, and this plot. And here's the thing. I know y'all think this is a dirty word. There is some times when we need to scale back some of our ideas and have a much more just streamlined focus to look at things so we can tell a coherent story without wasting everybody's goddamn time. I don't give a shit about Martian Manhunter in this movie. He doesn't add anything by the end of it. I don't really care about Ray Fisher's cyborg all that much.
I still don't care about Lois.
Yeah.
Like, there was one scene at the very beginning before the plot really gets going. It takes like 5 or 10 minutes of her, like, getting coffee, setting down the coffee to get on an umbrella because it's raining, grabbing the coffee, going over to Superman's memorial, giving this cop that's over there one of the other coffees she got, and then walking over to the memorial. And it's like such like slow motion, and it's like, okay, I get it. She's sad. She's in mourning. It's like, this is not necessary. This whole scene can be cut. Can be cut completely, or just cut down to, just like maybe 30 seconds to a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So it did not need to be 5 minutes.
Yeah, it would have been one thing, like, if Snyder wanted to make a big deal, oh, well, Martian Manhunter was Martha Kent, or didn't be Martha Kent for a bit. It'd been one thing if he was talking to Lois in an effort to get himself invigorated to jump back into the fight. Maybe something happened. Maybe you're trying to set up another movie where we're trying to explain why Martian Manhunter has been doing shit. Because, you kind of need to explain why, Diana hasn't as well.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's okay. I'm cool with that idea. But nope, it doesn't serve any purpose.
Comes to nothing. Then I'm like, oh, hey, Batman, or hey, Bruce, I know you're Batman, and you've inspired me, so next time y'all have a big fight, I'll probably be there, so. Like, oh, by the way, I'm Martian Manhunter. Peace.
Yeah. Peace, dudes. And I expect Bruce to just had a look, fuck was that? What the fuck just happened?
Oh. Get back to the Atlanteans for a second. What the fuck accent was Amber Heard going for? And I think also Willem Dafoe, they're both going for like these British accents that are totally absent in Aquaman.
Yeah, they just speak their regular accents. Probably because Justin Lin was like, you know what? Who gives a shit what kind of accent they have? Let them just speak with their normal, regular accents. It's not going to add anything to the movie.
I guess to make them seem more
otherworldly.
Like royal and dignified and everything. It's like this, like very British. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, Amber?
Yeah, because her British accent is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just
like whatever dialect coach your ex Johnny Depp used, maybe you can, ask him to put you in contact with him.
This movie, it's not worse than the original Justice League, despite the fact it's 2 hours longer. But it's no better than it.
It's split up for some reason into like 7 or 8 parts, and then this extremely long epilogue that.
It's literally just another one of the nightmare sequences because it's supposed to show
the future. That's why you see the Joker.
Yeah, and that's the only point you see Jared Leto's Joker.
And there's a hint that, yes, he's, what was it, Tim Drake?
Yeah, kind of hints more that he's supposed
that,
to be Jim
that
Carrey.
he used to be
One of Batman's Robins.
who was like a son to him. Kind of hint either that or he's the one that killed him.
So.
He makes a kind of a sexual reference to, in terms of Batman. It's like, okay, that's weird. Like, this was a surrogate father to you.
Yeah.
I don't know where the fuck they were going with this.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the other thing. I know that's the reason why people are like, well, this is worse. They shouldn't have got rid of the Snyderverse. Okay, first off, Snyderverse sounds like you're going to catch something and go to it. Mm-hmm. 2, yeah, it's a good reason we got rid of it. Because it's lame.
It has nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also there's the other issues. Like the epilogue thing, it's pointless. It's 20 more minutes of padding.
Yeah, spoiler alert is supposed to set up evil Superman and how Lois is the key, and I guess because she died, he decided to turn on the rest of Justice.
Yes, because good Lord, we did not get enough of that Murder Man versus Captain Hypocrite. We need to have more at the end of this movie.
Yeah, it's I think trying to set up for that moment in Batman vs Superman was like, Lois is the key, like, and, you know, Flash kind of going back in time. It's like, okay, but that was in a dream sequence, though, in Batman vs Superman.
It's a dream sequence that was within a dream sequence.
Yeah, and it's like, and also what's with Bruce having like prophetic dreams? Is he something like have superpowers? Is that his power? Is he a dreamer? Is he something? I don't.
Zack Synder doesn't know how superheroes work. He doesn't give a shit. He
clearly understands nothing about Batman, and definitely does not understand Superman.
He's pretty much Rob Liefeld. He actively doesn't fucking get superheroes or why people like superheroes. And his fans are some of the worst human beings in the world. And honestly, we would not be remiss if they either quit working or just suddenly passed away tomorrow. It's just, there's not a shred of real good here. The only thing I can say is, and in fact, if you want my final score on this movie, I'm going to give it exactly what Justice League got. It got a 2. It's not bad enough to get a 1, and even though it probably should, but you know what? It's still just boring. That's ultimately by the end of it.
That's as big as sin. It adds nothing. It's boring.
For all 2 hours, it decided to stack on top of an already not very interesting film. It just had more not very interesting stuff happening. There was a lot of just...
Like, check-in's like, it's only been an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt like 3 hours right there. Like...
And I just gotta say, Warner Brothers for having the willingness to at least give Snyder fans, hey, here, we gave you a Snyder Cut. But I'll still say, you know what, we're still not bringing back the Snyder Cut. Thank you. Let this universe die the unwarranted death that it totally deserved. I am fine with this just being like many other things throughout history. Letting it be a forgotten, fizzled out fart. Let this die the burnt out shell of a death that it deserves, much like Hitler. That was a little mean.
Yeah, they fucked up with these movies so bad that they're going to need another movie, a Flash movie, to wreck on all this stuff.
Fix it.
Mm-hmm. Or it's like, oh, pay no attention to this thing behind the curtain.
Don't look at the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, it's like, pay no attention to this bullshit that came before. They're fixing it. And that's another thing. You actually see Flash go back in time. Because he
gets shot.
Yeah, he's trying to... Okay, so... Victor Stone is trying to communicate with the mother boxes as they're merging. But he needs a charge to do that, so Flash is running around in circles, trying to build up enough of a charge. But Parademon sees him, shoots him like right in the side.
Yeah, because for some reason Flash decides to be really close, even though, yeah, he is the Flash, you know. He had done it in the next, you know, continent over.
Yeah. And he gets shot. He's like, okay, just give me a second. Like, let me heal. And by that time, like, it's too late. He finally heals just in time for the whole world's ending. Go back in time to fix that. Build up enough of a charge to send that charge to Victor Stone so he can communicate with the mother boxes and
pull them apart.
Yeah.
Well, Superman helps too. But.
Yeah, pretty much get in there from the inside and like separate them from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Is the big idea.
Yeah. And also, here's the other issue: the movie fails. Like the original Justice League, it tried to do what Josh Whedon believed it should have done. I don't believe that Josh Whedon succeeded. It still was a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to try and have a hopeful outlook on everything at the end. Sure, there's still the thing, Luthor is out and Deathstroke is there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, somehow Luthor now knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman because reasons.
Yeah.
But it tried to still have a hopeful outlook while still trying to set up, like, hey, you're aware about these
there's only so much Josh Whedon, dickhead that he is. Only so much that he could do.
Yeah. Here, it doesn't feel like, we had a good, hopeful ending. It's like, it just felt like we had an ending. And that's the thing. It's like, you can't have a movie that, okay, well, we have superheroes, but they're still just these broody shitheads.
And thankfully they took out the race at the end between Flash and Superman. After what Flash did during the, big boss fight, it would have been just really ridiculous. It's like, really?
Mm-hmm.
This man went so fast he went back in time and you're going to try and erase him, Superman.
Oh, I remember Superman already spun the world backwards. Silliest damn thing in the world. Still somehow more plausible than half the bullshit that happens in this movie. And also still much more fun.
And I'll say for the big boss fight, it's like we're back to that drab color palette that Zack Synder loves. But I will say it actually looks better than that, like, blood red Joss Whedon went with.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. We finally found color in the theatrical cut, but it's like, okay, this is... Oh, and who the fuck chose the music? None of the music seemed to...
It's a Snyder special. He has to choose his own fucking music that nobody gives a shit about.
Either that, or he gave it to, like, his wife's nephew, like, here, nepotism.
Choose some edgy music, man.
It's like, here, I'll let you choose, even though you have no experience, I'll give you a job just because, nepotism. Because none of the music matches.
So, what would you give this as a final score?
I think I'm kind of with you, like, 2. Some improvements, but it's just this bloated mess opens up these other plateaus. Covers up some, but then, like, up ahead, you have more that you gotta deal with.
Yeah, it's like you had this road that had, some little lumps here and there. So they went ahead and fixed that. But also right up ahead, they also tore the entire fucking road out. It's like, why'd you make this 12 times more complicated? This. So yeah, you can be happy, Snyder fans. It's you somehow were able to be given your bloated mess of a film. Y'all probably loved it. You probably all gave it 10s.
Probably jizzed during the whole thing.
Ooh, just never been so smart. Superman's Jesus. I never would have thought of that. Wow.
Considering people have been using the Jesus allegory for Superman for I don't know how many decades.
Yeah. Just fuck this movie. And sorry, fuck Snyder fans.
And Zack Snyder, I want my 4 hours back.
Zack Snyder, can you go jump in a sacrificial volcano? It would be useful that way. Find a use for you finally, sir. But hey, that is our feelings on the Snyder Cut. I waited till the end there to make that joke the entire time. Because that's how I've been referring to it. We will be back, though, soon. We might not be talking about Army of the Dead. One, I don't want to watch another Zack Synder thing for a few centuries.
I would say a few decades.
Yeah. Also, I think it's high time we need to talk a little bit about MCU. More importantly, their Phase 4 so far. And probably the most recent one, of course. We're not going to talk about a movie. We're going to talk about a series.
Mm-hmm.
No, to be fair, it's only like 6 episodes. So it's like 6 hours. And we're going to talk about, of course, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So until then, we'll see y'all there. So bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.